Hi, so this week we're talking about messages that we like to send with our writing. Personally, I like to have a lot of diversity in my writing, and when I say diversity, it kind of means a lot of things. I like to have non-Christian characters. I like to have men and women of color be the protagonists and the antagonists, and I like to have all kinds of queer people all over my book. And the reason is because, just having a love story about, two white straight people falling in love is kind of boring. You see it everywhere, and as someone who is not straight or white, it's kind of annoying to have to search so hard for stories about not straight, not white people. And that really reflects in my writing. It's not that I don't have white main characters or that I don't have straight main characters. It's just that they're far more rare than they are in other writers' works. I'm also starting to include more diversity in body types because a lot of times you see the main character is supposed to be described as average, but when it comes to their weight and their size, what is presented as average is actually not average at all by any stretch of the imagination. And unfortunately, representation in the main characters in itself is a message. It's, hey, the black guy who's funny doesn't have to be the comedic relief. He can be the center of the story. And he doesn't have to be Eddie Murphy to do it. It's, hey, men can be asexual too. And it's also, just because you're Christian doesn't mean you're not queer. Just because you're black doesn't mean you're not an atheist. Unfortunately, these stereotypes still permeate every level of our entertainment industry. And I'd like to think that if I ever get published, I'm helping fight that. Other messages I like to send are hey, the word fat is not an insult. And hey, it's not gay rights because not all of us are gay. Usually when it comes to words and smaller messages that aren't necessarily intrinsically part of the plot, I like to pull those off with a single scene where these characters discuss that, and somehow it's either relevant to the plot or it's relevant to their relationship as two characters. Sometimes it's one character asking another, hey, say this, not this, because it makes me feel more comfortable. And other times it's two characters of the same group who are saying, how do you feel about this issue that we both face? Because I feel this way. I try to never ever have two people who are not of the group affected talk about that issue, because honestly they have no way of comprehending how that issue affects that group. Therefore, it would be inappropriate for me to present such a scene without having another scene later where I got more in depth with the actual issue with someone who is affected by it. You'd think this would be hard stuff to do, but it's not. It's really easy. You just have to talk to the people in real life who are affected by these problems if you don't have a clue. And the information is out there. There are communities set up who are discussing their problems, and all you have to do is read the articles they've written, read the resources they've put out there to educate you, because that's what it's there for. You don't have to follow around this person, the only person you know in real life who deals with this issue, because it's not their job to educate you. Yeah, maybe it's the job of the community, but the community is educating you. The community has resources there for you if you would just look for them. Honestly, when it comes down to it, why shouldn't there be a large amount of diversity in our entertainment industry? And yeah, people have asked why I'm doing this, why I'm making the effort for this. And well, the answer is because not a lot of people are. And it should be an effort, because obviously it's not happening on its own. And that's just a travesty. I just honestly believe that there should be stories for all of us out there. And the sad fact of the matter is that there aren't stories for all of us. But that's enough for now. I'll see you next week.